All right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. We're live. Welcome back to The Jespective, where I do cultural commentary, go over some life lessons, and everything in between. Guys, today we are back. We're going to be checking out a Piers Morgan interview that came up, well, actually a debate that came across my timeline. Absolutely wild. It is a OnlyFans creator. Her name is Farah Khalidi, and a feminist known as Esther Q. I completely butchered her name, but my bad. But anyways, I mean, the conversation, as I've gotten into a few minutes of it, pretty much goes along the lines of her saying that it is absolutely not empowering, and she sees it as a whole bunch of BS, basically. But Farah is actually giving her take and her view on why it is. Now, I'm going to let them speak for themselves. There's a lot that I feel like I would have to say. I only pre-watched a little bit of this, so we're going to be going through this together. And of course, we're going to have a little bit of fun. So, God, got a brain freeze. As always, guys, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the live chat. And when this video posts, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So without further ado, let us get right on into it. All right, get these cans on. Here we go. As always, I tend to do these while watching these types of debates. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. We're going 1.25 on this. If you feel like it's a little too fast or we can't understand what everyone's saying, let me know. I can always slow it down. But I think for this one, it should be fine. All right. Let's get started here.
Genuine career.
There's absolutely nothing feminist about what you do. You've just cut out the middleman and you're commodifying the female body. There's nothing empowering about that.
Here's my question to you. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband, but it's degrading to get naked for public men?
No, because that's a very simple answer.
Is it because you assume your husband's more likely to respect you? Your husband is the man in your life most likely to beat, rape, and murder you. Your husband's the man in your life who 58% of the time is going to cheat on you.
My only worry.
All right. Already starting really wild. Very good job at the studio over there for immediately hooking you in with that intro. Let's keep it going.
Is that what it's become is a kind of genuine career path for a lot of young girls who might look at this and think, all I need to do is set up an OnlyFans account, take my clothes off, and a bunch of guys will pay money to watch me do my thing in a webcam or whatever it is.
A British philosopher once said, you can't spread your bumhole on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday.
The evolution of gender and feminism is a source of endless debate in popular culture. I tackle the issue head-on in my new book, Woke is Dead, which includes some essential wisdom on the subject. I look forward to debating it. One question I admittedly did not think of tackling specifically was this one. Can you be an OnlyFans model and a feminist? Farah Khalidi says you can, and that she is living proof of it. Men pay to look at explicit content, blaming the women is just hypocritical. Esther Kraku, however, vehemently disagrees. So when we heard that both Esther and Farah could be in the same studio at the same time, we thought what a perfect opportunity for a lively debate on this subject. So welcome to both of you. Esther, of course, I know you very well. Farah, we've never met. We last appeared in a debate where you were down the line. We were talking about Lord's provocative new album, which featured a woman's pubic hair, I believe, on the cover. And you took a screenshot of our exchange. Let's look at the clip first.
There's
nothing sexual about it. I don't disagree with some of what you just said, but clearly this is intended to be sexual. I mean, it's not, you know, you don't literally
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Really? And that...
I'm not going to lie, that response, she's trolling. Or being willfully obtuse. Because there's no way you see that and think like, oh yeah, no, I think it's... I mean, you can say there's an added meaning on top of it, or they mean to do something else. But also they're playing into what it obviously is, right? Let's not be dumb here, but let's keep it going. That's not the topic of today's video. But I think it kind of will speak to how she responds and reacts to certain things, specifically Farah, the girl with the glasses. We'll keep it going. We'll see how this whole thing plays out.
You now have that as the banner for your X account.
I thought it was a funny screen grab. It looked like you were my father confronting me with something you found on my Instagram, and I was like looking away coyly. You can also tell I only own one dress, so.
But basically, you're using me to promote your account, so I'm hoping for a share of the spoils.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. You understand.
I'm using you too, Piers. If this channel starts to blow up over reaction videos like this, then you know, I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's get serious for a moment. So, OnlyFans is a massive business, generating billions of dollars. A lot of people doing all sorts of different things on there. It's not just about, you know, women doing sex work, whatever they want to call it. How would you categorize what you do on OnlyFans?
I mean, my content isn't necessarily that extreme, but I definitely don't want brownie points from people who are eager to slut shame the women who do more extreme content. So when I go on platforms, I just call myself a digital prostitute because, you know, I want the backlash for it. So
A digital prostitute?
An e-prostitute, yeah.
What does that mean?
You know, like an e-girl or an e-boy, I just call myself like an e-prostitute. Like it's online, it's not actually physical or in the real world or tangible, but it's virtual.
And do you actually have sex on your platform or not?
No, I'm actually a virgin.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
my name is Bo.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna say this. I have watched debates with Farha before. She is very smart. She does like I used to see her probably a few years ago, but she would debate the content creator streamer Destiny. And they would do these collaborations. They would call them like Farha Fridays or something like that. And they would debate on random things. And the one thing I would say about her is she is very smart. She's a bit of a troll, and I think she does it purposefully. But there's some aspects and things that she would argue for that just felt like, I don't know how you are allowed to live in a fantasy land with some of these takes. And we'll see if she does some of that stuff today. I have a feeling she will. But you know, takes like this is kind of a little bit, I mean, not surprising at all from this from this character here. But let's keep it going.
What, you don't believe her?
Absolutely not.
Well, why would she lie?
Well, I don't know what the connection is between.
Also, on that thing, on whether or not she's saying she does OnlyFans content and she's a virgin, and that's not what she does on the channel, and people will not believe her. Whether or not I believe her on this, I don't know. I don't know if she's lying now or is telling the truth. I'll take her word for it that she's telling the truth, but I'll just say that the fact that she always mentions it will also become this, like, I feel like once you start playing that game, it becomes part of the selling point of what your content is. And so in my mind, whether she is telling the truth or not, eventually the fact that she said it enough, she will be incentivized to never come clean and say whether she is or is no longer a virgin, because I don't think I mean, it's now become part of her content. So she kind of always has to, you know, play into it a little bit, I think. So again, I'll take her word for it now. Maybe I'm the naive one here, but I mean, I just think she has no incentive to state otherwise when otherwise becomes the reality. Anyways, let's keep it going.
Again, I mean, that's why I partly.
Are you being serious? Or you?
I'm being dead ass, and that's partly why I do OnlyFans. Is because I'm trying to point out that, like, you could be a virgin in a way that isn't about purity culture or religion. You could be a virgin in a feminist way, which means you don't want to bite the bullet and, you know, just join hookup culture or just put out just because society tells you to. And I think it's really unfortunate that religious conservatism has a monopoly on abstinence culture, because 45% of women regret their first time, 30% of women regret, like, a sexual experience in the last 12 months, right? So I'm very interested in carving out a space for secular women, non-religious women, feminist women to also know that they can hold on to their chastity if they want to in a way that doesn't align with a toxic purity culture.
How old are you now?
Okay, now you see that, like, this is why I say she's an interesting character, because she'll say something you kind of agree with. At least I do. I would kind of agree with, and I'm like, I can at least appreciate that. But then sometimes it's like packaged in this weird thing where it's just like, huh, I ain't never seen it put this way before, right? So, like, I can appreciate what she's saying there. She's trying to say, like, hey, you know, right now, the monopoly on chastity or, you know, waiting or just kind of like waiting until you feel okay to get into certain things, right, is pretty much monopolized by religious culture, right? And she's absolutely right about that. So her saying, I'm creating a space for secular folks to kind of consider and think about these things and find the limits and boundaries of, you know, your own sexuality. Personally, I think that's dope. And I don't have a problem with it. But I agree. This girl is a bit of a shout outs to you, Jordan. She seems like a professional troll, though. Absolutely. And that's kind of the point I'm getting to right now. I feel like what she's saying has some merit to it. right? And she's saying, I'm creating an avenue for, again, I'm creating an avenue for secular folks who aren't doing this because they think that like they're getting judged by, you know, some creator guide or something like that. They just are doing it for, you know, ultimately how they will feel as they're trying to navigate through life. And that much I can respect, but like, I mean, she's trolling, right? Like she's trolling too. Like she's her stated goal is true, but like she's not completely sincere here. There's an aspect of her trolling to this where I'm not saying she's not doing this, but I'm saying like when she gets on here and you know, she says what she says, she knows what she's doing. She's a very, very smart person. And you'll see that as we continue going through this as well. I didn't see the whole thing, but like I've seen her debate before. I know she's a smart girl and I know she's the troll as well. All right, let's keep it going.
I'm 26.
26?
Yeah.
So Esther, why would you not believe her when she says she's a virgin?
I don't know many virgins that strip off and call themselves e-prostitutes. I think it's quite rare.
It doesn't mean she's not.
I mean, it's definitely a unique perspective. Can I just ask why? So it's empowering to take your kit off, and I'm assuming, I don't know how extensive your
Well, what kind of thing do you do on your,
is,
I mean, sort of categorize for those who've never
I mean,
seen
you
it.
just gotta subscribe and see. I would say, you know.
Absolutely not.
Of course. Oh man, see that like, see, she's a businesswoman at heart. You got to see that. Hey, can you just tell me what type of content you're doing? Yeah, sure. You just have to subscribe. Here's my link in the description of the video below. Nah, okay. Answer the question. We just want to know what type of content you're doing because it seems a bit off here. When most people hear OnlyFans, they think certain things, me included, and you know, you're saying you're not doing anything too crazy. Then and we're trying to get some clarification on that, and you're like, yeah, sure, you can get the clarification for $5.99 a month. You can subscribe with the link in the description below. Man, the game never stops. My girl is a true troll. Could appreciate it though, but let's let's keep it going.
Marketing though, subscribe and see, but
Subscribe and see. I mean, I offer a girlfriend experience. You could come on and I'll pretend to be your girlfriend for a little while, pretend to not be repulsed by you. I offer slutty photos and videos. And yeah, I just don't know what the connection is to virginity, you know? There really is no connection.
Well, I guess if you're massively sexualizing yourself, there'll be
Right.
a presumption
What?
that you've had sex. And it's quite interesting to me that you say you've never had sex.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole point, right? That's what I'm saying, is like people are unable to conceive of virginity outside of just wanting to appeal to the male gaze and being attractive to men. And I'm not a virgin because I think it'll make me more appealing in the dating market. I'm a virgin because most women regret their first time. They regret biting the bullet. Our dating pool is full of horrible men. And I think women should wait more so that they're not just going through that ringer of sexual regret.
Esther?
Okay, so like that point could be sound, but then also I feel like she's like 26 now. And she's gonna give a stat, or at least I've heard her giving one before, where she speaks about like something about like the regret she just spoke about. She said like it drops off a cliff at like past 23 or something like that. And I think it's because by that point people are like, you just turned 18, you're an adult, but like not really. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things about yourself, your likes, your wants, how you approach these situations that you don't really know yet at 18. And by the time you're 23, yeah, you learn a little bit more about yourself. You learn a little bit more about what it is that you actually like, what you don't like, what your boundaries are, and how you communicate with people. So it would make sense that by the time you get there, you kind of understand yourself a little bit more. And so then the situations you find yourself in are less regretful. Now, by the time you are 26 and you are, you know, doing OnlyFans and doing all these provocative type photos, which kind of give off the impression of certain things that you have knowledge of, then yeah, it starts to get, I mean, again, it's a bit confusing. We'll just say that. I'll leave it there for now. Let's keep it going.
I'm rarely speechless, Piers.
You are.
But I think I'm actually speechless. So
She
you don't.
doesn't have a response.
Well, no, it's not I don't have a response. First of all, this ideology. I mean, look, it's your personal belief, and you can obviously do what you want with your body. I'm just confused what you find empowering about showing pictures of your anus on the internet. Can you explain that?
I can. Well, first of all, I just want to point out that like it's really interesting to me that the first time the culture and men specifically are interested in talking about like the morality of sex work and how it's degrading to women and its effects on like the social fabric and namely its effects on relationships is conveniently once women like me started turning a 7-figure profit off of it, right? Up until the advent of OnlyFans, it was exclusively feminist. It was exclusively
But there's nothing
women.
feminist about what you do. You do realize
As I was saying, it was exclusively women. It was exclusively feminists who were the sole critics of Pornhub. It was exclusively women who would protest things like Playboy. Like Andrea Dworkin put out a book on porn saying men possessing women, and in response, Playboy churned out these cartoons depicting her fucking other women, basically calling her a dyke and a man-hating bitch, right? Anytime women protested pornography, men said that you are vilifying male sexuality, and men were so eager to make porn synonymous with male sexuality, right? And I just think it's interesting.
But that's exactly what you do. Like your customer base are men. You sell the girlfriend experiences to other women.
I do have some lesbians on there, yeah.
Okay, but it's predominantly men, and I don't think there's absolutely nothing feminist about what you do. You've just cut out the middleman, but you're basically working in the patriarchal economy, and you're commodifying the female body. There's nothing empowering about that. I don't know what your definition of empowerment is, but empowerment is not momentary autonomy, which is basically what you do. I can do what I want. Every human being should be able to do what they want, because that's by virtue of being a human being, you should have a freedom over your body. Empowerment is composed of 3 things. 1, it's yes, exercising autonomy when you want. It's 2, being able to make those choices responsibly and to live with the consequences, which I don't think you actually can or really have contemplated it.
I agree.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut her off either, but then Piers is cutting her off, and I'm like, let me respond to her before Piers does, so I can get my thoughts there. I mean, it's kind of interesting there, right? Because she's trying to say like, I don't really think that's empowering, because I don't really think like she didn't say this, but she's saying this. She's saying, I don't really think it's empowering because I don't really think you're considering the implications of what you're doing right now, right? Where she's saying like, hey, you're talking about beating the patriarchy and all this, but you're effectively playing into it, which that's one argument. But also, I could kind of see Farah's position as well, where it's just like, yeah, there's a system here, but now we're using the system to our advantage, right? In order to make money and things like that. But also, like, just to be very clear, most of these girls who do OnlyFans, they're not making money. It's only like the top few who do. So in my view, I wouldn't recommend doing this either, because most people ain't gonna go anywhere, and they will probably live to have some crazy photos up there online, and not make no money for it. I'm like, if you're gonna do that, like, at least make some money, but most people won't. So don't do it. It's kind of where this goes. But all right, let's listen to Piers' response. I have some more thoughts here, but I want to see where he's taking this, because Esther didn't even finish her response there. So I want to hopefully see what that is, and then we'll react to that again on the other side.
Making choices.
Oops.
That don't limit opportunities that you have in the future. There's nothing empowering.
But it seems to to play devil's advocate here, it seems like she ticks all those boxes, you would say, right? I mean, you know what you're doing. You're taking responsibility for it.
I agree with what she's saying. I'm not a choice feminist. I think choice feminism is intellectually lazy. I think the choices you make...
Breakdown. Okay.
What?
There's choice feminism now. That's an interesting intellectualization. Please continue.
No, I say I'm not a choice feminist. I thought you were saying you were against choice feminist. Like, you were just saying that, like, okay, me saying my body, my choice isn't morally interesting enough, but I need to have more than that.
I'm saying there's nothing feminist about what you do, because it has nothing to do with female empowerment. All you've done is cut out the
question. Why is it? Why is it?
Isn't the whole point of feminist empowerment that actually a woman can do what she wants with her body?
No, I actually don't even agree with that.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
Wow, I've been led up a garden path.
Here would be my question to you. Why is it not degrading?
I feel like Piers here. I'm like, I thought that's what it was. You know what? I'm just a spectator here. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I feel like Piers. All right, let's keep it going.
Degrading to get naked for your husband, if it's degrading to get naked for public men.
That's a very simple.
Wait, what? Hold on. I think I paused. I think I paused at the wrong. What did she say? Like, what did you just say? Let's bring it back 10 seconds. I don't know what that was. Hold on.
I agree with that.
No, it's not.
Wow, I've been led up a garden path.
Here would be my question to you. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband if it's degrading to get naked for public men?
That's a very simple answer. Because
what? Wait, hold on. What is she saying right now? Like, wait a minute. Wait, I don't think I heard this right. She said, why is it, one more time, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm hearing something that I'm not hearing, and that I am insane for hearing it. But I just want to make sure that before I react to what I think I'm hearing, I'm actually hearing that. Just one last time. Just one more time, because this is wild to me. Hold on.
Question to you: why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband if it's degrading to get naked for public men?
Okay, it's exactly what I heard. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband, but it is for public, but it is to do it in public? I feel like that's what she's saying. That's a ridiculous statement to make. Like, this is where like I said, she is a troll, but she's also, she likes to debate. And this is sometimes where the debate bro stuff is stupid. And you have to watch out for the pitfalls of like arguing everything and trying to make a point which doesn't have too much merit in reality. Like, yeah, I mean, when you, I don't know what she's saying here, but typically, yeah, if you were to marry somebody, you're attracted to that person. You have a commitment with that person. You have a relationship with that person. You have a bond with that person. So when you engage in certain acts with a person that you have all these things with, there's like, you're fine. This is all part of the package. Okay. This is not something that is like you would like, what am I doing here? I feel degraded by this. No, this is the person that you want to be there with. This is the person you chose to be there with. That's why it's not a problem. When you're doing these things in public, you didn't choose for all these random people in public to see you. What kind of dumb question was that? What is she saying right now? Oh man, good content though, far. I'll give you that. Good content. Let's keep it going. I don't understand what I'm watching right now. This is ridiculous.
That's a very simple answer.
Is it because you assume your husband's more likely to respect you? Your husband is the man in your life most likely to beat, rape, and murder you. Your husband's the man in your life who 58% of the time is going to cheat on you. Your husband's the man in your life who 50% of marriages end in divorce, and women cite that they felt disrespected, right? So why are you assuming that by sexualizing yourself for your husband, you're reserving a seat of respect from a man versus sexualizing yourself for the public domain?
Because you're not sexualizing.
Oh, man. Okay, I see where she's going with this. I mean, it's still wild. She's basically taking all the worst things that can happen out of a marriage and saying you are reserving yourself for the confines of a marriage, or we'll just say a committed relationship, when that person is thinking that it puts you at a higher level of respect, where that person can do all these things to you, whereas the people that you would do it for in public, aka not like on the streets, but in OnlyFans, who have no proximity towards you for the most part, they wouldn't have an ability to do that. And I mean, I guess that's a point. I don't think it's a good one. I think I get what she's saying. Like, could terrible things happen with the person that's actually in your proximity, who actually has access to you? Yes. But, you know, typically we are a social species, and when we do certain things, we like to have connections and know who these people are. And most people, simply put, are not going to be okay with being intimate in any way, shape, or form with random people that they don't know. And I mean, I don't mean like hookup culture per se. I'm saying like doing an OnlyFans and taking certain types of pictures on the internet. Most people would feel that way. Again, if it's your thing, do your thing, make your money. It is what it is. But just know what comes with that on the other end. That's all. But let's keep it going.
Yourself for your husband, you're engaging in intimacy in the context of a committed relationship that has
one in which he's 50% likely to cheat on you, 50% likely to end in divorce.
Everything comes with risk, but I'm sorry, treating your body like a bunch of orifices for hire is not more empowering. Women that are in committed relationships, that are married, are much less likely to be in poverty than women that are not. There are actually societal benefits of women being in committed relationships, and also not commercializing loneliness in men, which is basically what you're doing. A man paying you, a virgin, which I'm assuming is because you've never had a relationship, for the girlfriend experience is laughable. It is ridiculous. And
I don't believe in the male loneliness epidemic. Did you know that study found 89% of OnlyFans subscribers are married men? The male loneliness epidemic is absolute bullshit.
That's pathetic. But the point is,
let me ask.
I don't have a problem with
time
what
out.
I don't know about that. I don't know about any of this right now.
I'm curious about the economics of this, because I'm told that, I mean, for instance, there's this woman, Sophie Rain, said to be OnlyFans' biggest earner, with estimates of up to $50 million a year coming from her business.
What? $50 million? Oh man, yeah, I can see why there's some haters on here. Like, what am I doing with my life? If there's people out here making $50 million on OnlyFans.
I mean, how much are you making?
I don't share the specifics, but I've made over $1 million.
Over $1 million? Yeah. In what period of time?
In 2 years.
In 2 years. You did train.
I mean, what am I doing right now? What am I doing? What am I doing, guys? I need to learn how to make $1 million in at least 2 years' time. And you know, I think I'm out of options. I don't know. Maybe maybe I don't understand how is this happening? I again, I understand where there's some haters on here because like you're just trying to figure out how these people are earning so much for just going out here and doing this. And okay, let's finish your thought before I go off on a random tangent here. All right.
To go to law school, right?
I was initially planning on going to law school, but I started doing TikTok full-time straight out of college and then was doing social media, yeah.
What do your family make of what you're doing? Honestly.
Well, my father's dead, and my mom is tolerant of it, I think. She was more opposed to me even putting myself out there on TikTok when I was just doing, like, very casual skit content and stuff, right? So to her, this is just another extension of that.
Wild. If she had a problem with you doing TikTok, you don't think she got a bigger problem with this? I mean, she answered it and said she has a problem with it, but like, I don't think she really kind of answered it. But that's fine. That's fine.
Extended family? You have any siblings?
I do have siblings. I think they just find it cool. Not necessarily the OnlyFans specifically, but I think they think it's cool that I do social media and do stuff like this.
I'm interested in this whole feminist empowerment thing because I assumed, falsely it appears, that meant the whole point of it was men shouldn't be telling a woman what to do with her body. She has power over what she does. She has power over her idea of femininity. She can do what she wants. If she wants to show off on her OnlyFans account to people prepared to pay to watch it, and it's all legal, why do you care?
I don't care, but I think the idea of calling it empowerment and somehow feminist is completely ridiculous. And this is why definitions matter. This idea that having momentary autonomy over your body is somehow empowering. I'm sorry, gorillas do that. Like every living being should and does ideally have autonomy over their body. That's a pretty low bar.
You're not comparing it to a gorilla.
Yeah.
I'm just saying every living thing
that is
objectively
wild.
has some
That
sort
is
of
wild.
autonomy over their own body. We're talking about empowerment, which is what feminism was supposed to be. Feminism was supposed to be about autonomy, obviously, and having choice over your body. It was supposed to be about allowing women to make choices that give them the dignity and independence to pursue their own lives as they see fit. And also, in pursuit of that, with the responsibility of making the choices that you're making, knowing that those choices will actually give you more opportunities in the future. None of what you do qualifies for that other than the momentary autonomy. Your options are not going to expand because there are pictures of your bumhole on the internet, right? It's going to be a lot harder if you want to be a politician, for example, or a CEO, or a lawyer.
What if she doesn't want to be?
That's fine. By the way, that's fine. But part of empowerment is also being able to make those choices responsibly and live with them.
Are you in a relationship?
Hold on.
With a
I'm gonna let me just
Yeah.
let me just respond to that real quick because she has a point, but she's also dismissing her point while making her point. In that, like, she's basically saying, like, you're gonna make choices right now, and the choices that you make should basically her view is like it's not just being able to make whatever choice you want, it's being able to make the choices that will then set you up for whatever it is you want to do later in life and simply not limit you. But I will say, like, she's kind of putting a cap on what choices are. And that, in my view, that's not what it should be, right? Like, the choice to go ahead and do an OnlyFans is in itself a choice. I mean, she brought up specifically being a politician or, you know, something where you are very much in the public eye, and having an OnlyFans background probably doesn't bode well for you. But not everyone really wants to do that. And, you know, if that's the only reason that you wouldn't go and not do it, then like, you know, that doesn't speak enough for me. I would say the social consequences are greater than like thinking that you're going to be on a run for a politician or something like that. I'd just be like, well, in a world where you live in a vacuum and you ain't got no family or no one who actually cares, then like, sure, you're just like a ghost on the internet. But like in the real world, these pictures would be out there forever, even when you are long and gone and past this phase of your life. And so long as you're prepared to own what you did right now, later on, then I would suggest you don't do it. But you know, the problem is that it's hard to make decisions about how you feel at 20 when you're like 30, right? Like how I feel today is not how I feel tomorrow. It's not how I felt in the past. I'm in my 30s now, and there are positions that I held in my 20s that I no longer hold and no longer believe in and no longer subscribe to. And I am certain that when I'm in my 40s, it's going to be the same thing. So if I made some big decisions right now and I look back later on about those decisions, I just want to make sure that there's things that I could kind of sit with and I am okay with. And the irony is that, like, it's very much possible that, like, you can make a decision to do OnlyFans or something like that and then get into your 40s and be like, nah, like, I stand by that. Like, for example, that Sophie Rain girl who he said made, you know, tens of millions of dollars. I don't think there's any regret that this girl will have in her life about that in the future, because I'm like, you became a 10 millionaire off of OnlyFans. So you can be like, oh, I wish I could have made it another way. But at the end of the day, you are not going to regret that decision. So to each their own. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with what Esther is saying here, where she's just like, well, the choice has to enable you to be able to do X, Y, Z, because realistically, you just have to be able to sit with that choice. And what consequences come with those choices, because of the things that we do and don't do will have consequences. You just simply have to be able to live with. All right, let's keep it going.
How long has that been going on?
It's pretty new.
And what does he feel about what you do?
He's supportive.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, he's actually been on this show.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on, who is it?
You know Dr. Jack Symes?
Yes. When did I interview him?
About...
Does he know that he's being...
No, hang on, I'm trying to remember who he was.
No, he doesn't know I'm on OnlyFans.
No, does he know that it's a relationship?
Wait a minute, Esther, I need to get the moment. So what was he...
What a terrible way for him to find out, but it's fine. It's fine. She's open. It's he'll find out eventually.
on for on Uncensored?
With Natalie Winters talking about like the Quran and sexual violence or something.
Yes, I remember this, yes. Yeah. So did you meet him through this show?
Through this show?
Yeah, was it after you saw him on the show that you...
I'm sure he saw more salacious content elsewhere. And
yeah, he subscribed to my OnlyFans. He couldn't get enough. No, I met him at another like philosophy event we were at.
But he knows what you do?
Of course.
And he's fine with that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You seem a little bit like unsure.
Yeah. Well, it's not like some
little hesitant there.
Ecstatic, jumping for joy about it. But
really, but you're empowered.
He's not. Yeah, like he's supportive for sure.
But would you rather you give it up?
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. It's a pretty new relationship.
Right. Let me get straight to the point. Gold is up by around 40% this year. That's not speculation.
I'm sorry, Piers. I got to skip this, my guy.
That's Piers to 989-898. Protect your future with Birch Gold. Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of off your first order. You're 70% off with the code Piers.
Anyways, why is it degrading for me to just have vanilla? If I were to just show myself just naked, nothing degrading. I'm not getting shat on. I'm not getting pissed on. I'm not doing.
Why is that even degrading? Why do you assume that even just being in a state of undress, there's nothing degrading about it for random people that don't know you?
Why is it not degrading?
Well, all right, I gotta I found myself going back and forth in my head with this. I don't think that is actually. Yeah, I don't think it is. Okay, I'm actually going to agree with Fari here. I think if you're not doing anything, there's nothing crazy happening, and you're just kind of sitting there, then it's more like artistic in my mind. It's more just like the female body's beautiful, and if you could, it's really like in the presentation, I think, at that point, right? So I am not going to say that just by itself, there's a problem here. Look at Piers jumping in. He's probably going to say the same thing. Hold on, real quick. Just want to put a pause on that. But if that's what he's going to say, I will say I agree there. So, I mean, let's see where they go with it. I know I keep pausing right before they get into their actual points, but I just want to let you know my thoughts about it before we get there. Let's let them get into it.
Okay, wait a minute. Time. No, I'm going to call you up on this. Okay. Because you, on your Instagram, do often post videos of yourself. Pole dancing. And you're very good at it. Yeah. But you're often quite scantily clad. Yeah. What's the difference?
Well, I need skin contact.
Pole dance?
I have a photo.
I need skin contact with the pole to actually grip the pole to do what I do. Like, that's just the nature of the sport. And I certainly don't do it for the male gaze, and no one pays me for it. It's just a form of cardio and sport. But what
really?
Yeah, it is. That's really
different. Hold on. You said pole dancing. It just sounds so funny because it's just like, considering the side that she's been arguing on this entire time, this is a funny development. But All right, let's keep it going.
Cardio?
Yeah, I only do it for cardio.
Really?
I promise, yeah. But
a British philosopher once said, "You can't spread your bum hole on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday." And this is my colleague right here. Why post it? Why post it? Why not just do it privately?
Because I
look
want
at this. I've never even been upside down on camera.
I mean, she is right. She is right. She is right. I mean, you know, you just do it for cardio. You don't gotta post it. No one told you have to post it, right? Like, oh, I don't do it for the male gaze. Okay, all right, you can say that. That's fine. But like, you didn't have to post this though, right? Like, I mean, okay.
I'm sure you've done other things on camera.
I do.
Actually, I just find it diabolical that they're in the middle of this debate and they're sitting right there. And then the second she started talking, Farah started going on her phone to look through Instagram to find some photos. That is actually hilarious. And it's actually a pretty good debate tactic because now you throw her off base a little bit, right? Like she was confident trying to go after her. And now she's sitting right here on the defense after being on the side she was on. And it's just like, all right, so like, what's up with these pole dancing photos? I'm not saying she said it's for sport. I'm not gonna sit right here and act like that isn't that isn't actually very physically strenuous. But also, there's like two aspects to it, right? Like, yes, it's hard to do. It's hard on the body. It takes to like not hard on the body as in like it's killing you. I just mean like you got to be in shape to do that. But also, let's not act like there aren't a few associations with what's going on there, right? Let's not play dumb here. Let's keep it going. This is actually hilarious.
But you can subscribe and find out.
Why is this okay? Why did she have to post it? Why did she have to post this?
Because I was in a pole club.
Oh.
And I did a move that I've been practicing.
Oh, this is worse. You did it for free.
I should get paid. Oh, okay. Here's the thing.
But why did you post it?
Here's the thing.
Man.
Because I wanted to. I've actually taught as well.
Oh, but I thought it has to be empowering. You can't just be your body, your
I'm sorry.
choice.
I'm not the one sitting on the internet, spreading my legs open, telling
Yes,
people
you
to pay
are.
me
Yes,
for it. Telling people to pay me for it, and then saying that's somehow empowering to women. If you knew anything about pole,
so you're
but do you know how?
I'm not saying this is empowering. I'm degrading myself, but I'm posting anyway. Is that what you're saying?
Yo, it's worse because you're doing it for free is a hilarious comeback. All right. Right now, Farah over here got I hope it's Esther. I keep saying that. She has her foot on her neck right now. This is terrible. Okay. Oh man, that you're doing it for free. She got a point there. All right, let's keep it going.
It's not degrading myself.
Well, she's a very highly skilled pole dancer.
Oh.
Well, it is a.
I was going to ask what can you do, but I'm sure you have to subscribe to find out. But the point I was making is, you do realize there are gradations between domestic abuse and online prostitution. Do you recognize that?
Wait, explain. What do you mean?
Well, you keep saying that what is the difference between getting naked from my husband, who's 50% more likely to beat me up, and 50% more likely to rape me?
He's the man in your life most.
Yeah, all that stuff she said, I still think is a bit ridiculous. But let's keep it going.
Like, could it kill you? So I'm asking you, why is it more degrading?
Domestic violence, and actually, what you decided is murder. And what? So do you
not just that. Cheating on you is a form of disrespect. The fact that most marriages ended divorce with women filing for divorce because they felt disrespected either because of adultery, because of emotional abuse, physical abuse. They felt like their husband wasn't listening to them. I'm not saying they should sell themselves. I'm saying I don't subscribe to the delineation that by sexualizing yourself just for your husband rather than for the public eye, that you are somehow doing it for someone who respects you more and loves you more.
How do you feel about?
I still don't get it. She's almost like saying like, it's so weird because she's basically thinking like, hey, you know, you're saying you're gonna do it for someone who is supposed to respect you more and love you more, but they're more likely to do all these things for you. But I'm like, yeah, I guess that's possible. But also, most people don't go into marriages or long-term situations thinking that this is like the thing that is going to happen. And a lot of people, this is not happening with them. If that is happening with you, leave that relationship. But when it's not, then you should be good to do everything else and feel perfectly fine and safe within the confines of your relationship. There's this weirdness there that I'm not understanding and how she's portraying this, where it's almost just like, it's like she says she has a relationship now, and I'm like, well, I mean, at some point you're in your relationship, and I expect the person who you're with for you to be attracted to them and for them to be attracted to you, and I expect for things to progress in a certain way. But like, why are you always looking at like it's almost like, because I mean, guys, I know what the title says. It says like OnlyFans model versus feminist, but understand they are both feminists, right? And I think the problem with the label feminist is that you have some people, like there's different waves, right? And I'm not going to sit right here and act like I understand them all, but I'm going to say how people perceive these things. There is the one where I think most people would agree with, where it's just like we're talking about equality amongst the sexes. And we'll say, generally speaking, allowing women to make their own choices and chart the course of their own lives. Then there is another view where it's all that plus like an anti-man sentiment, or like I hate men for whatever reason. And what I'm saying is that it feels weird when Farah keeps mentioning like that, because it seems like she's going into that territory. I'm not saying she is per se, but that's definitely how it comes off of, because it's just like, why are you choosing to focus on the worst aspects of what happens to some people in relationships versus what happens with the broad majority of folks? But you know what? Let's keep it going. Let's let her speak for herself and see if she can clean that up. I'm not sure if she will, because she's pretty much committed to that position.
The likes of Bonnie Blue and these others who are, you know, I'm gonna have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours and stuff.
I mean, I see her kind of as more of like a performance artist. I feel like it's funny that people see her as like a consequence of feminism, but in reality, she's more of a consequence of the male.
Performance artist. Just so y'all know, real quick, I'm going to jump in, and I'm sorry, I won't stop it one more time after this. Bonnie Blue is this OnlyFans creator who basically did this stunt where she's like, I'm going to sleep with like 1,000 dudes in a day or whatever it was. And it was just wild internet brain rot stuff that she was able to blow up after that whole stunt. So to say performance art after that, I'm like, my guy, it's a lot worse than that. Let's stop trolling us, okay? Like, what are you saying? Wild. All right, let's keep it going.
Says stuff like, you know, anyone can fuck me, like a married man, a 18-year-old boy, a father-son duo. People are like, this is the ultimate like logical consequence of feminism, and I'm like, no, it's not. She's literally holding up a mirror to the popular porn categories, which have like reigned at the top of the hub for the past like 2 decades, right? So I think it's ridiculous that people associate that with feminism.
Do you think it's a little hypocrisy?
I mean, sorry, I know I'm pausing again. I keep going back and forth with this girl because she makes a good point, and then she says something I'm just like, that's wild. But like, she makes a good point. Let's keep it going.
Around the criticism.
Are you not?
I think it's ridiculous that they see her as, again, like the logical consequence of feminism when she's basically just like the purest form of the porn industry, which feminists were protesting for decades. And suddenly now other people want to protest only because of OnlyFans.
If you got married and had a daughter, would you want her doing this?
I would be opposed to her making that type of decision until she was at least like 23, 25. I'd be opposed to her even like posting what Esther posts until she's 23, 25. I'd be opposed to her having her sexual debut.
OnlyFans allows women to do it.
I'm 30. I'm not a child.
I didn't say you were. He was saying what I want my daughter to do. I wouldn't
even
want my daughter to be having sex until she's like 23, 25, because when you look at longitudinal studies of sexual regret, you're least likely to regret those types of things when your sexual debut, when you lose your virginity.
You can be 18 on OnlyFans. That's the legal cutoff point to start doing.
Yeah, and I'm saying I would advise my daughter to wait until she's 23 to even post like a bikini photo on Instagram, because the rates of sexual regret in general just completely plummet after the age of 23.
Do you know why sexual regret, though, is higher?
Yeah, that was that point I was talking about earlier. I don't know if it might have been this clip that I saw from this video or another discussion where I heard her talk about that before. But like, yeah, I mean, typically it would make sense to me that you would get to a certain age where you're old enough to know what it is that you want. You know a little bit more about yourself. You're a little bit more comfortable with yourself. And so that means that as you engage in certain activities, you engage in them without the basically you know what you're going into, and so you don't feel regret like, oh, I think I was pressured into this or whatever it might be. You just more so feel like that's what it is that I really wanted to do. So I get what she's saying, but like it's still kind of wild. It's like this is always the truth, right? Is that, and there's got to be a word for it. She's right now saying she would not want her daughter to do what she's doing, and I'm just like, yeah, like no duh. But it's always that thing where folks always feel this idea that like, well, I can go through it. I know how to navigate, and I can speak for me, which is actually true. But I can't necessarily say how you will deal with it, how you are affected, and whether or not it will turn out the best for you. And this is always that like, do as I say, not as I do stuff, because it's like, well, what I'm saying is probably best for most people, but I'm built different. So like, I can do this. Most people feel that about themselves. And to an extent, it might be true in that like, you know yourself. And so you're like, I can handle some of the negative consequences or the potential, side effects that come along with a certain decision. But I can't necessarily speak for y'all. So I get it, but it is rather interesting. Let's keep it going.
It's not because of the age. It's because they're in the context of casual sex.
Yeah,
and the reason why
because of sexual coercion. And you're actually most likely to be sexually coerced by a romantic partner rather than a casual partner. Women report being most likely to be reported into violent sexual acts by their boyfriend or husband, and that's why pimps, for instance, are so eager to employ like the lover boy method, because they know nothing gets a woman saying yes faster to a sexual act by boyfriend or husband. So when you talk about sexual regret and sexual coercion, it's not more from casual sex. It's actually more likely to be caused by your boyfriend or husband.
Does it concern you that
it's actually under the influence? It's also because under the influence of drugs and alcohol, which is when a lot of sexual encounters.
Okay, but what do you think about that? The
and
fact
you're actually
that women
citing
are
studies by the American Psychological Association that you don't really know.
No, genuinely address it. What do you think of the fact that women are most likely to be pressured into sexual acts by a boyfriend or husband because that type of arrangement that you see as so loving and respectful actually primes her for coercion?
Well, first of all, that's self-reporting, so we don't actually know the context behind it. And secondly,
because you were just so eager to cite sexual regret in the context of casual sex, and now that it's inconvenient, now you're like, well, that's self-reporting. It doesn't really count.
No, but the point is, if they're in a relationship where they
She's cooking this girl right now, by the way. Like like she said, this is hard to watch right now. She's getting cooked. All right, let's keep it going.
feel pressure to commit sexual acts, they're in the wrong.
Farah is cooking this girl. Just want to make sure what I'm saying. This girl is the one I believe is getting cooked right now. Just want to make it very clear. Let's keep it going.
Relationship. And usually, do you know how to model a right relationship? When you've seen it, when you've seen people in healthy, stable relationships. I don't know why you jump from one extreme to another, because you clearly have a very negative association with sex and hang-ups around it, and you just think, I'm just going to make myself safe by being this virginal weirdo that spreads my legs on the internet. But somehow, being in a healthy, stable relationship, which has actually been the prime conditions for building a society, having loving relationships, raising children.
I am in a healthy, stable relationship. I'm not anti-relationship.
That's why he's so thrilled that you're on OnlyFans. But wait until you have.
Yeah, and that's where I'm gonna say, like, she kind of comes back swinging to me, because it does feel like she has a weird association with this stuff, but she says she doesn't. It's like, it just, the way she speaks about it, it seems a bit off to me. And also being like, no, I'm a virgin right now, but I'm secular. I'm not doing it for religious reasons. I'm just like, and I'm saying, like, you do whatever you want, but then the way she talks about it makes you think, like, are you okay? Did something happen? I'm not sure here. And again, everyone makes their own choices and decisions. You just start playing the odds at some point, and you're just like, I don't know what's up here. Something seems a bit off, but she also seems fine. I don't know how to read this girl.
That conversation. I'm sure he'd love the mother of his child to have a bumhole spread on.
Does it concern you that OnlyFans is owned by a Ukrainian billionaire who's making a fortune?
No, because it's empowering.
Women like you do.
Women have cut out the middlemen, so it's empowering.
Well, my point being, he's a man. Does it bother you?
What industry isn't run by some male billionaire? I don't know what that has to do with anything. And that's kind of my point. Is I'm not going to argue that.
It's the patriarchy, isn't it?
I'm not going to argue.
Barbie would have a fit.
I'm not going to argue that a lot of the sex work industry isn't rife with exploitation, but the way I see it is, like, you could look at the cocoa industry, and a lot of that's also rife with, like, really unethical labor practices. That wouldn't make it unethical for me to grow chocolate in my backyard and eat it, right? So I think we need to be able to separate the, like, immorality of, like, the supply chain from labor practices of porn and the actual morality of the product.
I don't know you.
So even if there's a lot of men taking advantage of these women and coercing them, that doesn't make it inherently wrong.
I hear you. Listen, you've got a sort of machine gun style of defending yourself. What I haven't seen much from you is a smile. I'm not entirely sure that you massively enjoy it.
You have to subscribe for that, Piers.
No, it's not that. I just wonder how much you actually enjoy it, or whether it's a job and it's making you lots of money, but that actually, if you didn't have to do this for the money, you'd be out of it in a million miles an hour. Does it actually make you happy?
I do enjoy it because I grew up in a pretty conservative Muslim household, and what's interesting about a lot of these purity cultures is that they claim to be so anti-sex, and in the process of it, they sexualize you relentlessly. They're constantly being sexualized. They're making sure, you know, your skirts are long enough, that your clothes aren't too form-fitting, and I found that so sexually uncomfortable for me. And I find what I'm doing now, yes, I do find it liberating, having gone through that, yes.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah, you see,
What do you think?
This is where I say, like,
in the middle.
This is where I say, like, he is a very intelligent person, and you can kind of see, like, I don't know sometimes if she's arguing from a position she truly believes, or she's arguing because she feels it is the best way to win the exchange. Because it's like, when you ask her about her thoughts and how she feels about these things, I'm like, well, that seems like, in my mind, that makes sense, right? You're coming from, like, a very religious background where it's very repressive, and you kind of feel empowered to just do what you want to do. Now, in some ways, you almost do the opposite of what that culture promotes, but, you know, that's your choice, right? And you can feel like that's what you want to do, but, you know, some of the other things she says on top of that just feel a little like, are you trolling? Are you serious right now? Or, like, is there some beef you have? I don't know how to read it, but yeah, interesting character for sure.
And just make decisions for yourself and understand that actions have consequences, you don't necessarily have to sexualize yourself to feel liberated.
Why did you post that? You didn't answer my question.
Because
you wanted to. Why did you
that's the point.
it?
I don't just see myself as a sexual object. I'm actually intelligent. I'm confident. And
I'm not. Am I not intelligent?
Well, she certainly strikes me as intelligent.
Yeah,
and
of course.
confident.
But
so what's the difference? Why is it okay for her to spread her bumhole on the internet, but it's okay because she's also intelligent, successful? I'm also very intelligent and successful.
I'm not charging people for it, and it's in the context of a sport.
They're wanking to you for nothing.
Look at the runners in the Olympics, like the female 100-meter sprints. They're wearing literally bum shorts that show their bums and their legs, and a sports bra.
That's
but
a great point. If you were running like miles per day for free versus for money,
so you're talking about something you have no experience of. You've never tried pole. You've never done anything. But because it doesn't qualify for the kind of sports that's okay with you, you think you're drawing a moral equivalence. Pole is a sport.
I didn't say it wasn't. What?
But I'm doing that in the context of a sport.
Okay.
What?
Our gymnasts.
And mine's in the context of a job?
Okay. Well, listen, here's the thing. Bottom line, I don't really care what you do. I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy you're getting paid and you find it fulfilling.
And the point, the line I'm drawing is this. I'm happy you picked the sport that correlates with the form of sex work. You didn't have to do that, but you chose to do it because you enjoy it.
Or empowering about what you do. That's just where I draw the line. Because there are women around the world. There are women around the world that don't have the privileges of living in a Western democracy like you that can call the police if they're getting abused. There are women around the world that are actually being pimped out by horrible men, sleeping with probably a dozen men a day.
Didn't I say that? Didn't I literally just say that you have to be able to separate the morality from the product, from the practice? Same with chocolate. Would you say chocolate is objectively immoral?
You're as much a hooker as they are.
Would you say chocolate is objectively immoral just because the supply chains tend to be immoral?
I don't think you can look at my physique and expect me to say chocolate is immoral.
Well, chocolate is definitely.
Yeah. See, at this point, we are nearing the end of this discussion soon. And at this point, they're just trying to like get their last couple of shots in. They are talking over each other. It's kind of hard to follow the points. I don't even know how we got here with the chocolate point, but like, I mean, okay, I get it. Yeah, let's let them wrap up here, and we'll get to our final thoughts shortly.
No, but genuinely, what do you think
half an hour ago.
It's a fruit. It's a fruit.
What do you think of that analogy?
Do you know what I really think about this? It's interesting. I personally, my view of feminism is actually that women should be able to do what they like without men controlling their lives, telling them what to do, blah, blah, blah. If you want to do what you're doing and it's legal and people want to pay for whatever it is that you offer up, I don't care. It's fine. My only worry is that what it's become is a kind of genuine career path for a lot of young girls who might look at this and think, all I need to do is set up an OnlyFans account, take my clothes off, and a bunch of guys will pay money to watch me do my thing privately in a webcam or whatever it is. And I think that is the bit of it that concerns me, is that a whole generation of young girls think they're a bit like they did with the Kardashians in a different way, is that there's a shortcut to fame and fortune that involves no actual skill. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent, doesn't mean you're not beautiful, any of those things. It's not a skill. Anyone can do it. And are we creating a whole generation of young girls who think this is a better career path because it's more lucrative?
I agree. That's why
actual skills.
Initially said like that when they.
You know, I can appreciate him bringing that up because I actually totally agree with him on this. It's like I try to go back and forth with how I sit with these things because on one hand I'm just like I am the live and let live kind of guy, and I encourage people to just make the decisions that will ultimately make them happy in life or will allow them to discover themselves, so long as they aren't doing harm to others. I'm just like, go out there and figure out what you got to do. But the problem that I have is that I think when some people make this decision, they're doing it with the short-sightedness, just like what he said, to get a shortcut to fame, fortune, and all the dreams and hopes that they want for their lives. And I feel like the fact that most people will not see the same type of success as like a Sophie Rain or something like that will lead them to an even worse place than before they started doing these things, because the regrets that they will have, especially after the failures, will be greater than had they tried any other business venture and failed. This is why I personally could not recommend this to anybody. I just don't feel like it, I just think most people aren't really built to try this, put themselves out there, potentially fail, walk away and said, it is what it is. That's just the game. I think most people will go even lower in terms of like how they feel, how this mentally impacts them. And they're not going to just walk away with this unscathed. So I agree with Piers totally on this, and I think it was a fair point that he just brought up there. Let's keep it going.
Asked me, like, I don't share my income publicly. This was the first time because, like, I don't want to encourage women to go into it. And I always say in every podcast appearance I do that I don't think girls should go into it. The average income you make is $100. The median income is $30 a month. And for me,
on OnlyFans.
On OnlyFans.
Right.
For me, I was already sitting on 2 million followers. I was already doing social media full time. I knew I was going to be able to retire off it and cash out off of it. That's not the case for
And when
most
do you
women.
want to retire?
When do I want to?
When do you want to get out of it?
I mean, I love doing it. I think it's so fun. So, I mean, I'll keep it going for.
Or do you just love the money? Be honest.
I'm going to be honest with you. I love this more than the money. I love defending it. I love the smoke.
But
I
if
love
you were
the
making
backlash.
those-
I
if
love
you-
being slut shamed. I think it's really
She is
fun.
a debate
Well,
bro.
of
Of
course
course she
trade
likes
all
this.
the
Yeah.
money in the world for this.
I've got no intention of slut shaming you. I think it's entirely
Well,
down
you're
to
not
you.
in a position
There's
to
no-
because you're
there's
upside
no-
down on a pole and
no,
stuff.
well,
So.
yeah, because
Hey,
I actually have
yo.
a skill, because I'm athletic. Anyway, no one's
So if I did
slut-shaming
on
you.
OnlyFans, I'm skilled now? Would you be,
If you-
would you
if
be
you're
supportive of my
trained-
OnlyFans if I did
if you
everything
tra-
upside
here's the thing,
down?
I actually follow pole dancers, many of whom
Foot on the neck. I'm telling you, she got that foot on the neck right now. This is crazy.
are former gymnasts that actually do this. And I don't have a problem with it. Again, I don't know why you think I'm so invested in your life that I care about what you're doing. The point that I'm making is there is nothing feminist or empowering about what you're doing. Empowerment means you actually create opportunities for yourself. There's a long-term look
She
at
has.
hold on, there's a long-term perspective of empowerment. A heroin addict doesn't create long-term opportunities for himself because he's engaging in momentary autonomy of taking in heroin. If women that fought for the choices of women wasn't because we want
You know the difference, though? Heroin.
hold on,
Here's my
Well, no,
problem.
there's a big-
Why
fighting
not
for women
carve
just
out
to- let me
opportunities
finish.
for
Hang on,
myself
hang
by
on,
getting on
hang
a
on.
show
You
like
cannot
this,
become a
making
lawyer.
$1 million.
Ladies.
Because you cannot become a lawyer or a politician because there will be pictures of your butthole on
Hey,
literally billboards
yo.
around cities.
Do you think
ever
if you
tried
ran
to do
for
something
office, that
anything else.
photo would not be plastered all over
fine.
every
I was a
commercial?
I
It would
put
say,
a
"Do you
training
want this
role."
woman running your
Fine.
state or your country?"
Yes, that's fine.
That's fine. Then it's fine for me too. We agree.
Oh, okay. So
I have to say, I don't think either of you are actually going to become politicians.
Why?
Are you? Have you got any plans to?
That's
no, I definitely
racist.
don't. But the thing is, I think there's something deeply
Did you just say that's racist? Oh man, what a troll. All right, I think we're almost done here.
offensive about the sacrifices that women have made to give women the choices to be able to advance themselves in their lives and actually pursue things that they want, and being compared to online prostitutes, which are a bunch of 20-something-year-olds that generally just don't want to be waitresses and actually just want to get easy money online. I think there's something deeply offensive about that.
Well, it's an interesting debate. And I'm not slut shaming you for one moment. And I think you put up a good defense.
Yeah.
You put up
I think
a
you
good,
like the controversy more
a
than
good
anything.
critique. No, I think it's an interesting debate. You
Yeah.
know, I suspect my bet is that you'll be out of this in about 3-4 years. and
Well,
you'll be
nature
glad
has
to be out of
something
it.
to do with it. Most people don't want to pay a 45-year-old for the girlfriend experience.
Well, on that
something
bombshell,
like that, yeah.
we will draw things to a close. Thank you both very much.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right. Fair play, fair
something more
play, fair
important
play. Let's turn that off. All right. I mean, listen, that was fun. That was a fun debate. Shout out to Piers Morgan. I mean, dude has tons of debate type content like this. I think he does like a debate show basically every single day with like the Avengers of characters that join his panels on a variety of different topics, and they kind of hash it out just like this. And it is usually fun to watch. I think I did react to 1 or 2 on this channel again before, and there's actually a few that I missed and I wish I had reacted to live. I might even just go back and just bring them back just for fun. But again, yeah, great content, great topic. I feel like both of them had some points. I think the Farha girl is just better at debating and articulating her points and kind of keeping the foot on the neck. But like the other girl had a point too, right? I think to say like this is empowering, but for most people who probably engage, like who probably follow that same exact path, they'll find themselves in a position where they feel worse off. So it's like, yes, you are empowered to do what you want to do, but you're making a decision which will probably be worse off for your own life. It's weird because it's that whole balance where it's like, well, I mean, are you really trying to police what people want to do, or are you trying to like it's really this thing of like, I want to allow you to do whatever it is that you want to do for your life and make your own decisions, but also like I'm trying to protect you from making a decision that might hurt you in the long run. I get what it is that she's coming from when she says it that way, and I understand what she's trying to say. I don't agree when she's trying to say like, oh, it's not empowering because, you know, just making a choice that you want to do that doesn't allow you to live a certain a certain lifestyle that she idealizes, right? Like she's thinking about like, oh, I want to be a professional woman who's perceived a certain way. And I'm just like, well, I get that's your vision for what like, you know, a true feminist might be or what an ideal for a woman might be. But like everyone has their different views and different thoughts for what it is that they want out of life. So I feel like you can't necessarily impose that on others. And when it comes to Farha, again, she is a bit of a troll there, but like I get what she's saying. It's weird because she's on OnlyFans, but she's apparently not doing the things that you think of when someone's doing OnlyFans. Like, yes, there is photos, she says, but like she's a virgin apparently, and she's not doing anything like super explicit on there. And you just try to think to yourself, so like, what is she getting out of this? What is her point in being such a troll when it comes to this? And it's like she does defend it. She has her own hard lines, as you can see. And so it's like, in a way, she's defending OnlyFans models, but also a critique on some of the things that they would do by not doing them. I don't know what's going on here, but I'll just say very, very interesting discussion. Shout out to everybody who engages in these. I always think how it would be to show up to one of these channels and do these type of debates. And I'm just like, well, you know, let it be on a topic that I am spending all day and all night in, because I feel like if you aren't prepared, you just might get cooked to, you know, 300,000 to 1 million viewers average on these Piers Morgan, discussions. But yeah. But anyways, guys, it was fun. Thank you for joining the stream with me today. As always, that was my perspective. What's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you have not already, and subscribe, as I got much more content like this on the way. So until next time, YouTube, peace. Oh yeah, and I will include the description to this video down below. So if you wanted to watch it or watch some of his other videos without me yapping in the background, you can feel free to do so. Anyways, guys, that is it for me today. And again, peace.